I'm BPhife. I got a great video for you. Let's get started. All right, welcome back. I want to make a video here. This is a video of me creating the beginning stages of my course designer, um, and I'm making a golf course that I enjoy thoroughly. I'm trying to recreate it as close as I can. I spent a lot of time in this course designer because I didn't really get an opportunity to create any courses in the first one. I thought the first golf club, the course designer was not intuitive. It just seemed like it would be a waste of time. So I really just didn't get into it. But with the golf club two, I really wanted to create that. I went in it without looking at any tutorials, without any background from the first one, and I just thought maybe I could just learn on my own, and I was able to accomplish some things. I got frustrated with a lot of things. Later found out the things I was frustrated with, there were ways to do it, but it was not very intuitive. Um, then I decided that I was going to look up and try to get some help because I spent a lot of hours even before I even tried to get some help. So then I looked at the official developer tutorial that they did on Twitch, and even then I thought they kind of glossed over some of the things that I felt was important for me to get a grasp on. I didn't watch it through its entirety, but um, I will. I will watch it through its entirety so that I can kind of maybe check it out. But my initial thoughts on the designer is it definitely will take some time. It's not intuitive whatsoever. I mean, I've spent a lot of time in this, more than I would like to have. It took me about at least 5 to 6 hours creating just one hole. You won't see that in here, but I have a video. Maybe I'll just add it at the end. One of the holes that I created. This was before, and there's a lot of planning that goes in course design. Rightfully so. There, you got to get your measurements down. You got to get, So what I decided to do here's just kind of somebody that's not as experienced in course design, using this course design tool. I figured, you know what? And then the area allotted, I wanted to make sure that all my holes were there. I didn't want to, because I spent 5 hours on that one hole, 5+ hours on that one hole. And what would be worse than, you spend all that time creating that hole, and then you can't fit the other ones in there because you didn't allocate for the correct amount of space. So that's why I kind of just had to scrap that, even though that was like 4 or 5 hours. 5 or 6 hours. I had to scrap that, and then make what you see here as some type of a skeleton, course, and then I'm going to go back in and fill it in with the proper bunkerage, the green size and the fairway size, and some of the terrain and water, which I've already done. Actually, it's at pretty much the end of this video, but what I'd like to do with this video is maybe give some of the noobs that tried this and said, oh, it's a little daunting, it's a little overwhelming, just kind of maybe give you some insight of what you're getting into. The best way to look at this, when it actually comes to like filling out the course, the holes and whatnot, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but if you played Forza and you've ever used uh, the car creator or the skins creator in Forza, it's similar like that. You got to use shapes in order to fill in stuff. And I used to be really good at that, actually. So that's why I feel like I can take this on as a challenge because I did very, very well with the Forza creator. But the things that bother me with with this designer is it's just not intuitive. Like the things you would expect to be there. Like for instance, if I wanted to create like a brush area, and I want to, define a certain area's brush area, I don't want to have to individually place, grass and stuff to fill this area. I would like to just say, hey, in this area, put this type of grass in there. Like there was a fence, and again, you'll see in the photo that I show later on, but I had to put one by one by one, and it was, it was a long way, and I'm thinking like there has to be a better way to do things in bulk. Um, like the water, when I put the water down, the water was real low. I wanted the water to be pretty high. I'm sure there's a way to do it because I've seen it in some of the other courses that I played that the water is actually higher because it looks like the water is like really low and it's that. So there's just multiple things, and like for example, there has to be a way to just wipe a certain area just clear of all terrain. Like it just needs to be flat and let you contour and sculpt the land. I haven't found a way to do that. So there's multiple things that are kind of frustrating that I would like to uh, you know get answers to, or like to see if it's in here, or I'm not sure. There are some things I thought were not in here, but then stumbled across them accidentally. So I really don't know whether or not there are the things that I'm looking for are already there, or I'm just not figuring it out. So again, if anyone can help me, I'm going to continue to look at the tutorials and go from there. But I'd have to say it's pretty advanced, though. I mean, it's probably more advanced than it should be initially. Like the advanced stuff should be hidden, and it should be more like the stuff for a beginner should be more prominent right in the beginning. Like again, like to be able to just fill in a certain area with a certain type of grass or buggers or something. Like I wanted bark, and I don't know if there's bark in the game where I could use that. You know what I'm saying? And there was a certain area where it said terrain settings, and everything came out car paths. So I'm not sure. You know what I'm saying? It's just kind of weird. Um, it's, and again, maybe there's a way to do it. Maybe there isn't. But my initial thoughts on this is uh, it's going to take a lot of time, and it's going to take a lot of it's just going to take a lot. So I really don't know what to say at this point in time, but I will say that at this point, I got my skeleton holes down, so the layout is there. I'm excited about that. And I had to save it a couple times because it crashed in the middle, and I had to start over. So a lot of frustration, but then there was a lot of reward too. Actually had a chance to play it, multiple T's and all of the other stuff. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of things that I would like to see um, get answers to. So anyway, hope you're enjoying this. Let me show you at the end of this video. Let me show you what my hole looks like that I spent 5 to 6 hours on, and it actually looks pretty good. Considering that it was one of my first times doing it, and I'd have to say that the only thing that could make it better is if I could just dial in those little details, like like I said, some of the brush area, some of the out of bounds, some of the bark, etc., etc. So, anyway, it's your boy BPhife here. And please, if you have any information on this, let me know because I'm really curious. I would love to get some tips and tricks. And that's another thing. The tutorial on this, the in guide tutorial, is really, really generic. It doesn't say how to do anything. It just tells you, hey, you could do something like this in this area, So they kind of in the Twitch live stream, the developers say, hey, we have this robust tutorial. There's nothing robust about it. I'd have to say there's nothing robust about it. I mean, I really don't want to say anything negative about the golf club at this point in time, but I will say that their tutorial is just skin of their teeth. You know what I mean? Skin of the teeth. I mean, as far as in, yes, there is something in there that gives you suggestions and hints on what to do, but it's not like, a very informative what to do. Even their live stream is kind of, again, just kind of glosses over it. But anyway, I've already said that. My initial thoughts for the course designer. Again, I didn't play it in Golf Club 1. So, I'm really catching up in Golf Club 2. It seems like it could be really good. Like the measure tool is really cool. Just one tool, just to say, just to name. But I would love to learn how to use this and then just build the courses that I want to build. All right, enjoy and take a look at my video. Take a look at my hole at the end of this. Don't forget to comment, dislike if you don't like this video, like it, etc., etc. Subscribe, share, whatever you got to do. All right, I lied. Actually, I got a lot more to say. Um, but it's just little things like trying to level the course out. As you can see, I'm trying to, trying to get this lake correct. It just doesn't look like. See how I was able to lower the, but it affects the rest of the course. It puts more because it's global. You know what I mean? Whenever you change the water level and stuff like that, it's global. It affects other areas of the course that I don't want to be affected. So, low spots become water spots, which that's not what I want. I guess I can go back in and fill those in, but I think the land sculpting is not as good as I would like it to be. So, maybe there's a way. Maybe there's a way to do things, in bulk. So that's my big thing. So if there's a way to do things in bulk, and if there's a way to do things specific, to a specific area, I want more control as opposed to saying you can do this, but it has to be under these parameters. I think that's the big problem that I have with the course designer at this moment in time until I get some answers. Until maybe some of you write in the comments saying, hey, I'm gonna do in the comments. I'm gonna put some of the things that I didn't mention in the in this video. So, all right, let's go ahead. Let's take a look at the hole that I designed. It took about 5 hours. Um, this is a pretty neat hole. Actually, like I said, it took about 5 hours to create. Um, Here I am testing it. Um, I think I did a really good job on it. I treated it like, again, I treated it as if it was like Forza and stuff like that, like the fairways and all this other stuff were pieced together, in order to make it. And I think that's probably not necessary to do. Um, if anyone knows what that means, it looks like you're able to like outline something and fill it in, but I don't know how to do it. Um, you know, I think my biggest problem is just, again, is the land sculpting and just being able to bulk fill things in like fairways and rough and stuff like that, and flatten. I would love a way to just say, okay, start all over, just make this land flat and let me individually, do things, because where are the lines where it's sculpting. This whole sculpting thing, I just need a little bit more help with the sculpting. But anyway, um, this is BPhife. I'm signing out. Thanks again for taking a look at my video. I'll just let you continue taking a peek, see at this. Actually, I'll cut it off. It's not a big deal. But you see where it's going with this. The finished product is pretty good. But it just took me forever to do. It took me forever to do, and I just didn't have the time. So, I had to rethink, my strategy on how I was going to create the course. And I think the strategy I'm working on right now, I got the layout already, and I'm just going to go back in and fill them in, with all the other stuff. So, anyway, thanks for watching. Comment, subscribe, dislike. Feel free to dislike. Hey, you don't like this video? Let me know. All right. Thanks for watching.